broadcasters, welcome to episode 229 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See people tune in from all over the world tonight. We have Elizabeth from BC, Canada. Very, very cool. We got Tristan in the UK. As usual, nice to always have you here, Tristan. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows on StreamYard. We got channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to grow on YouTube. Dee and Daniel are both pros when it comes to all things video and all things YouTube. So if you're looking to get specific advice when it comes to things like, how do I think about growing my YouTube channel or my niche, or, how often to post content, and, should I implement YouTube Shorts into my strategy? Both of them are great when it comes to reviewing that stuff. And then we have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin. Again, Nick is a pro when it comes to all things video, but especially live streams. So tune into that one for your live streaming questions. And then one thing we've been doing at the start of these, so that you get to know a little bit more about us and we get to know a little bit more about you, is a fun fact. And the fun fact we had for tonight was, given that it's Memorial Day, or it's going to be Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day, is favorite long weekend in the United States, at least. Favorite long weekend activity.
I believe it's a holiday in the UK. I don't know about Canada or other places, but yeah, nowadays, it's probably just working on the weekend. But as a kid, I think my big thing was anything to do with the lake. Going out to the lake was always a good time, especially when we used to go fishing with my grandpa a lot. That was always a blast. How about you?
Cool. Yeah, these days it is often, a good time to catch up when there's not meetings and stuff. But yeah, as a kid, I think it was either camping or like going to the beach were two of the big fun ones for the long weekends.
Cool. All
right, we have some topics for tonight, but let's make sure we touch on some of these questions here. I guess more of news from Anna. Says, so happy to share. Hit 100 subscribers this week thanks to StreamYard. That's so awesome, Anna. That's a huge milestone to hit. So really happy to hear that. Freebird Spirit says, hi, question. Will you be able to merge comments when multiple channels are streaming? Yes, absolutely. That's one of the nice features of StreamYard, is if you are using the multi-streaming ability built into StreamYard, every comment that comes in, whether it's, on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, all of those will populate within the StreamYard studio, and you'll be able to show them on screen. But that is for you as the host, right? So if someone is watching on YouTube, they're not going to see people commenting from Facebook, other than if you show them, show those comments on screen. Sometimes folks have asked about that, like whether or not it would be possible to change that in the future. But for the most part, people seem to prefer that, because it can be confusing having sort of like a, something posting in saying like, hey, this was mentioned on Facebook or whatever. People generally like to have sort of the comment experience is a little bit different on each platform. So it's kind of cool that people can experience it on whichever platform they prefer, but we're always open to adding new things.
Yep.
Let's see what else we have here. We have a question from Jamel regarding, Sherry. Does StreamYard allow live call-ins? So it absolutely does, Sherry, in the sense of, people can join on their phones and whatnot. But when it comes to an actual telephone number, that is not a feature on StreamYard, at least at this time. One way you can do it, though, and I've seen folks do, there's probably a variety of different options. The two most common ones I've seen is if you want to use hardware, that can be a pretty good option. There's audio interfaces like the Rodecaster, which are pretty popular, and the Rodecaster is cool because you can actually plug a cell phone directly into the Rodecaster and have people call that number. And if that Rodecaster is plugged into your computer and you're using that as your sort of mic input on StreamYard, that'll be a great solution to have basically a phone number in addition to the guest options on StreamYard. And if you're not looking to use hardware, there's lots of great virtual options as well. You can use like Loopback on Mac is a popular one. Windows has a bunch of different ones as well. I don't remember the most popular one. The name is Voice Meter is a popular
I know
one.
Loopback Voice Meter. I know we do have a blog post on this as well. If you can find that. It just basically walks through the 3 or 4 different options in detail, how to actually set it up with Callins. But easiest way, like Geige said, is just if they're on a phone, they can just join from their browser on their phone, and that is definitely the simplest.
Cool. Lots of other questions here, but want to make sure we get to some of the recent updates. So I think Dan mentioned it last week, but I wanted to mention again for anyone that missed it last week, which was there were some cool updates to the giveaway tool. Do you want to quickly mention, Dan, what some of those were?
Yes, I would love to. So 2 updates specifically. So the first one, for anyone who's never used the giveaway tool, you'll see it. Well, if you've been on a town hall before, you'll see it at the end every single week, and this week's no exception. So right at the end, you'll see that we'll do a giveaway. This is a tool that's accessible to everyone. You just have to go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, and you can use the tool yourself. We made 2 updates to it last week. So the first one is that there is a setting that it's default on. So when you start a giveaway, you can turn this setting on, and I'll just pull up a picture. You'll see it's the checkbox. Actually, I'm gonna hide that banner again.
Oh, yeah.
It's the checkbox at the bottom there that says exclude winners when doing multiple draws. So this is basically if say you're giving away like 5 different things in a row, and you've got 100 people commenting, and you want to make sure that whoever wins the first draw can't also win any of the other draws, you would just turn that on. It'll exclude them from the future draws. It doesn't apply across weeks. So like if you're doing like a giveaway every single week, it's not going to remember the winners from last week or the week before. But if you're doing multiple draws within the same broadcast, it will remember them. And obviously, if you do want to allow the person to win multiple times, just turn that setting off. And the last one is we always used to have the StreamYard logo as part of that giveaway tool. I know some of you really liked having the logo, but some people didn't want to screen share with the logo. So we just got rid of the logo. And if you're one of those people that mentioned last week, I love the logo. I want to promote StreamYard, and keep feeling free to mention StreamYard, but some people didn't want to have a logo there, so we no longer have the logo in the top corner.
Cool. Awesome. We have a question here from Jamel's asking when using individual recordings, he's experiencing some freezing. Do you know why that might be the case? So the one thing with when you're using individual, I'm assuming local recordings is what you're using, Jamel, but if that's not the case, if it's just like the separate recordings you're using, do let me know. But if you're referring to local recordings, it's a great feature because if you are, if you have a guest on a shaky internet connection, it is great because it is recording directly on your computer. But given that it is recording directly at the computer, it does mean there's some different parts of your computer that are involved that wouldn't normally be used in streaming, right? So it's actually being stored on your computer itself. If you are experiencing some kind of freezing, I would definitely reach out to the live chat at StreamYard.com/contact, and they can sort of troubleshoot with you to go through your hardware and try to figure out what might be going on. There's a lot of different things it could be. Like it might be, if your computer doesn't have enough storage on it, or there's all kinds of different things it could be. So I would reach out to support, and they can help troubleshoot with you.
If all you get is like a very short freeze for like half a second right when you go live, that is something we're aware of. There seems to be some kind of Chrome problem that we're looking into. So if that's specifically what you're getting, we're already aware of that one. I don't think it affects very many people, but you might be affected by that.
Awesome. Let's see what else we have here. Studio Group says, have the engineers started looking at a way to pause, record, and then start from there without starting over? Absolutely, Studio Group, the design team, product team, engineering team, that's something on their roadmap that is actively being implemented and experimented with. So we're excited about some of the updates that we're making to make StreamYard a more friendly recording platform in general. I guess anything else to add to that one, Dan?
I don't think so. No.
I would be curious, Studio Group and anyone else in the chat, for those of you that are regularly using StreamYard to do recordings, so this one is currently being addressed. We're really excited for you guys to see what we're launching for it. But if there is anything else beyond the pausing, recording, and sort of restarting that you'd like to see when it comes to the sort of recording feature set on StreamYard, it'd be great to know what that is, because we do want to continue to improve it. Awesome. Let's see what else we had here. Jay says, will there ever be a running comment option? So I assume, Jay, you mean the ability to sort of have the entire sort of like comment section on screen, just running through them live. It's something we're open to. It comes up occasionally. The main reason we haven't added it historically is just the lack of control you have when it comes to that comment section. Like if someone puts something really inappropriate, that's now sort of burned into the video and you can't really actively remove it. Whereas with the current way that comments work, you have control over each comment you want to show on screen. But I do know some people just want to take that risk and just want to have that ability to embed it. So it is something we're open to adding. Architectural Sheet Metal says, were you guys able to make a hotkey for switching solo layout? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
So no, I don't think we have that yet. I know I remember, I don't remember if it was you specifically that asked it, but someone asked about it quite recently. I remember I was looking during the show to try and find if we do have it yet. I don't think we do have that one yet, but I do know that that is on the list of things we would like to add, and it's a lot easier for us to implement than some of the other hotkey stuff we'd love to explore. So that one should probably come sooner than the other ones. But as of today, I don't think we have it. So I will confirm again because I know it is being worked on.
Awesome.
I don't think we have it yet.
Mark says, lovely StreamYard. Recently hit our 100th episode of the show. Awesome, Mark. 100 episodes is a really big milestone. That's awesome.
And actually, just to follow up, we do actually have it, but I have to confirm if it's been released to everybody yet.
Cool.
So I'll get back to you on that next week, probably.
Awesome. One thing I forgot to mention tonight is we do have time to do a lot more questions here, but we do have a special guest on tonight. So we have that to look forward to. We'll have someone, Evan from the support team on. So looking forward to that. Ring of Hire Show says, can you please talk about green screen? I'm having some issues with it. If you could share a little bit more, Ring of Hire, in terms of like what issues you're having with the green screen, that would be helpful. We do have there are two main ones that we have, right? Like we've got the virtual green screen option, and we have like the ability to use a physical green screen. So I'd be curious which one of those you're using and what type of issue you're having. Nanao says, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, says, does StreamYard have any new tools coming with AI? That's a good question. Nanao, we absolutely do. I think the pace at which stuff is moving in the field of LLMs and AI is really, really exciting. So I can't speak too much about it now, but we have a full AI team that is actively experimenting with different types of features and functionality. Some of the features are already powered by AI, like the green screen, or at least one type of the green screen functionality is powered by AI. But we have all kinds of really cool stuff that we're experimenting with and testing with that once it's ready, we're really excited for you guys to see.
Yep.
Kristen says, could you someone stream to different live streams simultaneously? So if I'm misunderstanding, Kristen, definitely let me know. But if you just mean like going to two different platforms at the same time, yes, absolutely. That's one of the main features of StreamYard. Freedom Patriot Network says, has StreamYard integrated with Rumble yet? So there's not currently an integration with Rumble Freedom Patriot Network. They don't have a public API at this time. If they do add an API, we are open to integrating with it. Strasberg says, question, why can't we make layouts bigger and not smaller and change your banner on the stream? Thanks. Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I understand it. So why can't we make layouts bigger and not smaller and change your banner on the stream? Do you have any thoughts on this one?
If you could maybe add a little bit more.
If you can clarify exactly what you mean.
If you could maybe add a little bit more detail, Ryan. But yeah, when it comes to layouts, especially with custom layouts, you do have a lot of functionality now. So you can change the size of every single video and the overall layout. So in that sense, you can definitely make them like bigger and smaller, but maybe I'm missing the question. When it comes to changing banners, banners are not tied to layouts. Like that's right. Banners are sort of separate. Like you can change the layout, but showing a banner or not showing a banner is a separate action. There is not in the current version of layouts, but I've alluded to it in the past. We are working on not just custom layouts, but the ability to have deeper customization in your overall production, even beyond layouts, while still keeping things really, really simple. And that's where you might have more control over not just the layout, but being able to sort of set up more customization beyond that. I'll be excited when we can share more and share some examples of how that might look. Marriage Talk TV says, is there a solution to stream to IG yet.
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram is very, very slowly rolling access out when it comes to live streaming. So you may be one of the few people that have access. It's unlikely just because it's such a small percentage of folks. But if you just type in, if you go to StreamYard.com/contact and go to the support center, if you just type in Instagram, you'll see a support doc that walks through everything you need to know in terms of how to check if you have access to basically the RTMP feature of Instagram Live. And if you do have access to that, you can stream using our custom RTMP from StreamYard into Instagram. But we are optimistic that in the future, they will also open up an API to make a direct integration, but that's not available yet.
Yep.
Cool. Let's see what else we have here. Steven says, I'm wondering if a local recordings version of the mixed video is forthcoming, as in getting a mixed video with overlays that uses the local recording. Thanks. Love the product so far. Yeah, it's a great point, Steven. It's definitely something that we had in our minds right when we launched local recordings. Like one of the great things about it is you have, if you're doing a podcast or you just want to have that high quality recording after the show's over, you have these great individual tracks. But if you maybe don't have the time or you're not familiar with editing tools, it is potentially quite a bit of an additional step to recombine all of those local recordings together. So we absolutely are working on functionality that will allow you to, instead of having to, like we do have these direct integrations with editing tools, which are great if you do need to do the more sophisticated editing, but we are working on a feature that will allow you to, if you want to, instead of using those editing tools, basically just an easy way to stitch those together and do basically exactly what you're saying. Instead of using the cloud mixed video, having like a local mixed video.
Cool.
Anything else to add to that one, Dan?
No, that was great. I'm excited for that. That'll be cool.
Yes, absolutely. Jeff says, can StreamYard switch automatically to the single layout based on who's talking? So we don't have a functionality for that at this time, Jeff. It came up a lot when, I don't know how many of you remember Hangouts on Air, but Hangouts on Air used to have that feature. So it was popular. It was a popular request then. It hasn't come up as much recently. But it's something we'll continue to be open to, especially if it becomes a more popular request. But there's not technically a way to do it automatically at this time. You'd have to click the person on StreamYard.
Yep. Yeah, I would be curious just for anyone else in the chat if anyone else would be really interested in having that.
Thanks for the additional clarification, Matt. Can't say it. Matematica. I have a physical green screen. Very well and uniformly lit. So if you have the physical green screen, I assume you're not using the virtual green screen option, Matematica. But if you could send an email to contact@streamyard.com with a link to like a past stream you've done using that green screen, it'd be super helpful for our team so that they can look into like what the issue you're having might be.
Yeah, it's tough to say just on this stream because it could be like, just a certain parts not getting cut out correctly, or maybe it's a performance issue. It's hard to say.
Cool. April says, would be excited for anything that would allow me to have different backgrounds that don't require me to have a powerful graphics card. Cool. I'd be curious, April, do you mean like sort of like animated backgrounds or things that are just like very visually interesting? If it's just images, you definitely shouldn't have to have a powerful graphics card, but for intense videos and stuff, maybe that's referring to AI. I do think there's some interesting stuff there when it comes to what's happening with AI to do stuff to make it really easy, basically, to generate a lot of cool images that are relevant to what you're doing in your live streams. Let's see what else we had here. DeBeat says, is Instagram Live only with the professional plan? No, Instagram Live is available on, I guess technically, if there's ever a direct integration that opens up with Instagram, it would be available on all plans, including the free plan. The one thing now is custom RTMP is on the basic plan, right, Dan?
Yeah,
so technically, sorry?
All paid plans. So yeah, the basic is the cheapest one that has custom RTMP, which is the current way to stream to Instagram, just because we don't have a direct Instagram integration. Because like Geige said, they don't have an API yet. But yeah, if you do have access, that is the way to stream to it now. But yeah, if they do suddenly open it up to everyone, we would have it on our free plan.
Cool. Johnny Bean says, will there be a StreamYard app in the future? There's definitely a possibility, Johnny. We have definitely tried to make StreamYard super functional on mobile devices, whether it's an iPad, an iPhone, or whatever. But there are certain types of features that are particularly well suited for an app. So it's definitely possible. I would be curious if, I assume since you're asking, it is something you're interested in. I'd be curious for what part of an app is compelling to you. Is it because there's certain types of audio devices that would only work in sort of an app setting, or is there another reason? I would be curious.
Yep. Yeah, we should bring Evan on soon, by the way. Good.
Thank you for reminding me on the time. Yes. So see, we have lots of other questions here. We'll probably have a little bit more time at the end for more of those, but want to make sure we have plenty of time with our guest tonight. We've got Evan on from the support team. Hey, Evan, thanks so much for coming on tonight. How are you doing?
Howdy. And thank you guys for inviting me. It is my pleasure as well.
Awesome. Always nice to have people from the support team. I'm sure there's probably people in the chat that have chatted definitely with the support team, but also probably chatted directly with you as well. Cool. So Evan, we've got and for anyone who's not familiar with this part of the show, so we like to bring on just team members from StreamYard, so you get to meet people that aren't just Geige Dan, right? You get to meet the rest of the team behind the product, whether it's someone, an engineer or somebody on support. So in this case, we've got Evan from our support team. I've got some questions just so you can get a chance to know Evan a bit more. And if you have questions, feel free to ask in the chat. So Evan, first question, can you just tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at StreamYard?
Yeah, I'm, like you said, I'm a support specialist. So mainly I'm on the chat. So if you chat Monday through Friday, there's a good chance that you'll be chatting with me.
Cool. Awesome. And where are you located, Evan?
Right now I am in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. Cool. And how long have you been at StreamYard now? It's quite a while. This
August, I think it will reach 3 years, actually.
Cool. Yeah, you're definitely one of the earlier people, that's for sure. And do you have a favorite StreamYard feature?
Yeah, I would say all the branding features. Like,
okay.
For an example, I'm working on kind of like a science fiction movie right now, and StreamYard is helping me out. I'm using a lot of the scenes take place in an online space, so it's cool to be able to make it look like it's coming from any different website or anybody's, podcast or video. Custom layouts, which were just released, has been something I'm playing around with as well. So yeah, very cool that there's no rule for what a StreamYard stream or recording has to look like.
Cool. That makes sense. And what did you want to be when you were younger?
I did, and I still do love to work in entertainment, especially science fiction and fantasy. When I was really young and the career question came up, my answer would always be, a wizard or a pirate. And
all right.
Didn't change
the
for a while.
Best job.
Yeah, my parents told me, you can't really be that unless you're on stage, and I appreciate them clarifying that it can't be in real life.
Cool. That's awesome. And then how did you get into customer support?
I was just interested in technology. I was an English teacher when I first graduated, but I wanted to do something that was more technology oriented. So that is why I sought out tech support, because I did have prior customer support experience.
Cool. Makes sense. And what is your favorite thing about working at StreamYard?
I would say two things. One, it's really awesome to be able to talk to people from all over the world every day. That's not something a lot of people get to do, not just in their jobs, but even in life. And I'm obsessed. I'm in love with stories and storytelling. That's my life. And everything I see on StreamYard is kind of storytelling in some way. So if I can help people get their interesting and creative ideas out there while I work on my own, then that's a good job for me.
Cool. That's awesome. Do you know how you would answer our fun fact question? Your favorite long weekend activity?
Yeah, I would say archery is something that I used to do quite a bit. So,
cool. That's awesome. And then do you have a favorite karaoke song?
I don't know. I used to Elvis. I don't know. I don't do karaoke very often anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. And do you have a favorite board game?
Probably Stratego.
Okay, never heard of that. I'm always surprised. Everyone has a different game. It's I've never heard of any of these games. That's cool. Stratego, you said it's called?
Yeah, it's it's kind of a bit like chess.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, if anyone else has questions for Evan, like I said, feel free to ask away.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Let us know if there's any questions for Evan. There were a couple earlier ones here. Delivery TV says, loving StreamYard and the video, but I'd like to get better audio quality. How could I go about doing that? So there are various audio options on StreamYard Delivery TV. I saw a couple other questions about audio as well. Maybe it might have been also from Delivery TV. But for anyone out there that's looking to like get the most out of your audio setup, one of the first options that you'll probably want to try out is if you go into settings into the audio section. There are a few different things there regarding like echo cancellation. So that's the first thing. As long as you have a setup where you don't have to worry about echo, like if you're using a headset and there's no risk of echo, you'll want to potentially try turning that off, just because if you have that on, StreamYard does have some automatic functionality that will work to like limit echo and automatically do some stuff in the background. Whereas if you turn that off, it just gets rid of that additional processing. So there is a higher potential to get the best possible sound. So that's the first place I would start. If you are having quality issues after that, I would definitely try out with support at StreamYard.com/contact so they can troubleshoot with you.
And you might chat with Evan.
Yes, Evan can help you out.
Hopefully you do. Always welcome.
Cool. You want me to start up the giveaway here as well, Geige?
Yes, absolutely. And while you do that, there was one question for Evan from High Tech Mother was wondering for Evan, what's the most difficult challenge you faced at StreamYard and how did you overcome it?
Oh, that's a tough one. I guess I just say stepping into a technology field, I had insecurity at first because, tech is like this big thing like tech, but I've learned it's complex, but not as complex as maybe everybody makes it out to be.
Yep.
Absolutely. Cool. I think lots of folks are already familiar, but if you've never been to one of these before and you've never been part of the giveaway, to be eligible, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard. And like Dan mentioned at the beginning, if you're ever interested in doing one of these yourselves, this tool is available at StreamYard.com/giveaway. And there's a video walking through how you can use it, but you can do exactly what we're doing here. And tonight, how about we give away a StreamYard sweater and a StreamYard pillow? And give you 10 or 15 seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards. And while you're doing that, we probably have time for maybe one or two more questions. Dan is wondering, Evan, what's your favorite movie or play?
Oh, that's tough too. That's really tough. Yeah. I guess I'll just say, like, there's so many answers, but last night I was watching, I was huge into monster movies, and one of the ones that got me into it was Godzilla versus Hedorah, where Hedorah is this cool like monster that absorbs and evolves from pollution. Pretty creepy villain. So I'd say that one for now, but I don't know if that's final answer.
Cool. We have one last question here, and then we'll run the giveaway. Question from Chris says, welcome back, Geige. Thanks, Chris, appreciate that. Are you able to add auto captions to repurposed content yet for Shorts/Instagram? So not automatically yet, Chris, but that is a huge part of what we're working on this year, is making sure we have tons of functionality to make it really easy to, like, you worked really hard to make maybe, an awesome, 30-minute or hour-long show or podcast. And we want to give you all the tools to make it really automatic and really easy to take out the best segments and do things like automatically add captions. But in short, not yet, but it is something we're working to add.
Cool. All right, let's do this giveaway. What are we giving away?
The StreamYard sweater and the StreamYard pillow.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Good luck, everybody.
Robert.
John.
Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. If you could send an email to contact@StreamYard.com, the team can work with you to get your address and your size for your StreamYard sweater and your StreamYard pillow. Congrats again.
Cool. Congrats.
Awesome. And with that, this was episode 229 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure being here and getting the opportunity to answer your questions and hear how you're using the product. We will see all of you next week at the same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. See you next week, everyone. And thanks for joining us, Evan.
Thank you, guys.